The thing that I find myself the most concerned about when you ask me, are they this bad? There's one area where I don't think they should be, but they have been this year. And it strikes me as the biggest mystifying thing of the season. Because, like, the goaltending being bad, like, that's frustrating. It's not mystifying. We knew it was a question. Yeah. John Tortorella said in training camp, like, goaltending scares him to death. Like, now Sam Harrison's hurt. They're using a guy who 6 weeks ago was in Russia. Like, yeah.
Didn't want to come.
It's probably a problem. But one thing I didn't think was going to be a problem, and it's been maybe their biggest problem. We saw it. You alluded to it a few minutes ago when we were talking about last night's game. It's not even the finishing. The finishing has actually gotten better this year. They're finishing at a higher rate than last year by a not insignificant margin. The problem is shot creation and chance creation. The problem is they are not generating enough raw offense, period. And the reason why it's so weird is because it wasn't even like, this isn't a case of they were mediocre at it last year and they've taken a step back. They were actively good at it last year. Last year, and I think these are all situations numbers. I'm not going to give you the individual numbers, the individual digits, because you don't care about that. I'm going to give you the rankings, okay? Last year, the Flyers in shots on goal per 60 minutes in all situations ranked 5th. In shot attempts per 60 minutes in all situations, they ranked 8th. In expected goals in all situations per 60 minutes, this is by the evolving hockey expected goal definition. So there's different models, but I'm going by evolving hockey because it's my favorite. They were 18th. So 5th, 8th, and 18th. That's a legitimately good shot volume team, and it's a middle of the road shot quality team. That's solid. That's perfectly solid. This year, shots on goal per 60 in all situations, they ranked 30th. Shot attempts per 60 in all situations, 31st. Expected goals per 60 in all situations, 30th. They are not generating shots. They are not generating chances. They're actually, as I said, finishing at a higher rate than they did last year, because I guess you kind of have to. And, last night certainly helped when they were scoring on, a quarter of their shots or something. Yeah. They're not creating. They're just not. And that's the one thing where I wonder, like when you say, are they this bad? The goaltending might be true talent this bad, okay? The finishing ability, the skill level, that might be true talent level this bad. But over a large sample last year, they were not this bad at generating shots. And this year, they have been horrific at it. And I've spent the last week quizzing players, talking to Tortorella about it, trying to figure out what the heck is wrong. And everybody has theories. But it doesn't change the fact that they can say that it's about, they're not pinching enough, that the third man high isn't being consistent enough, that the passing's off, that guys are trying to take it on themselves and do too much one-on-one. You can say all those things. And that's great. That's great that they're in tape study and they're figuring it out. They're identifying the problems. But you do all that, and then you go out there, and in the final 40 minutes of the game last night, you have 6 shots on goal. I think that's why I'm so frustrated with last night's game, because everybody I talked to over the last 2 or 3 days was like, we're figuring it out. We're addressing it. We've identified the problem. It's going to get fixed. And then the final 40 minutes, you did exactly what you've been doing the past week, where you just got no shots on goal whatsoever. And you lucked out because you got 2 fluky-ish goals. But if that didn't happen, you get blown out by the Hurricanes. And then you're not talking about it being a fun game. You're talking about it being a debacle. If they don't fix this shot volume problem, this is going to be an unbelievably long season and an unbelievably difficult season to watch.
Now, they did play the Hurricanes tough a few times last year. They didn't have much success, but they played them tough. But honestly, one of the reasons I'm not that frustrated, like overall, yeah, this is a problem. We've done the shots by period thing a number of times this year, and it's sub 10, sub 7, sub 5 in a period. Martinez today on Flyers Daily said they've had 6 periods where they have 3 shots on goal.
That's wild.
That's 2 whole games.
Wild.
Yeah. And the reason I'm not, while that's an overall frustrating problem, it's the Hurricanes. That's what they do. So that's exactly what I expected last night.
And that's fair if it hadn't happened all last week.
If it's not happening so much leading up to it. Absolutely.
If it was a one-time thing, sure, I can accept that. Carolina has the puck the whole game.
Yes.
But the thing is that when the previous 3 games, you averaged fewer than 20 shots on goal across those 3 games, you know what? I'm sorry. I don't care if you're playing the Red Army team from back in the mid-'70s. Every time you get the puck, shoot it. Like, I don't care. You can't have another game where you don't get any shots. And for the first period, they actually did. First period, they racked up some shots. You're like, hey, maybe they're figuring this out. And then final 2 periods, it was right back to missed shots, holding the puck too long, passes that are just a tick off, shooting into shin pads. It's just the same thing over and over again. And, like, it's hard for me to get frustrated with the goaltending because I expect ALLCITY Kolosov to struggle. He's a rookie. Ivan Fedotov, once we got a handle that he just might not be an NHL goalie, like, I don't know. I can't get mad at him. Like, maybe that's just who he is. Yeah. But when I see a team that last year was really good at this one thing and this year isn't just mediocre at it, they're horrific at it, that's when I pull my hair out because it's like, what changed? You're basically the same team. Sean Walker didn't matter that much.
Charlie, I'm telling you, I think over the last few seasons in Philadelphia, we have discovered the 2 most underrated defensemen of all time in Matt Niskanen and Sean Walker, and they should at least get retroactive Norris votes. Maybe not win, but like be 8th. Yeah, just maybe that's what we've come to the conclusion of. But yeah, this is the baffling thing is that part of the game has taken, again, like the goalies, you said, the coach told us it scares him. Like John Tortorella is just looking into a camera and going, I don't know, they might suck. Like, yeah. To be expected. But this part of the game, the shot creation, the chance creation, it's all the same guys. And you added Matvei Michkov, who, he hasn't been awesome at 5-on-5, but has at least created some chances for you, and he's made the power play considerably better. And
that's the thing they're doing. I'm sorry to interrupt, but like they're doing this with a better power play.
How many times?
Imagine if the power play was as bad as it was last year. They would be averaging like 14 shots a game.
How many times since like the middle of last season up until today have we said if they just had a not incompetent power play, they easily make the playoffs last year? And now they have. It's had some ups and downs, but they have a mostly not incompetent power play.
It is a 20% power play. They're ranked 14th in the NHL. We would have killed for that.
They're freaking in last place. If they're at 20% last year, they're 3rd in the division. Like, it's insane the way this has gone, and we can blame the goaltending for a lot of it, but this is where I get frustrated with some of the individual guys, all who were here for at least parts of last season.
We all silly like the mayor.